Nike has been all about that speed, but does the Zoom Fly 6 hit the mark? Let's find out in today's full review. Welcome back. I'm Cody with The Shoe On with Cody, and today we got ourselves a good one. We're talking about the Nike Zoom Fly 6. I've been racking the miles in. I have close to 40 miles into this shoe, and I have a lot to say about it. Today I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the verdict. Should you buy the shoe? Did Nike finally get the Zoom Fly right? Now, before I dive into all that goodness, I do need to point out one thing. This shoe was provided to me by Nike, but they have no idea what I'm going to say in this review or any of my content that I make about their apparel, their shoes, whatever they send me. And I do have a favor to ask you all. Hit the like button. Smash the subscribe button. You know you want to. Cost you absolutely nothing, but it definitely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about the Nike Zoom Fly 6. Because I'm a positive guy, I'm going to start with the positives. And honestly, there's a lot of positives. So in the past, me and the Zoom Fly line, not really. I didn't really get it. It just wasn't hitting the mark. This is supposed to be a companion to the Vaporfly or the Alpha Fly, whatever race they shoe you were. It was supposed to be that 1-2 punch. And I felt like while the other lines, Alpha Fly and Vaporfly, were going up in the right direction, I just kind of felt like the Zoom Fly was not. But honestly, the Zoom Fly 6 kind of brought me back. It made me a believer again. And honestly, it has to be the foam. It doesn't feel bottom heavy anymore. This Zoom X, as well as the plate they're using, just creates a very nice ride. I mean, look at that foam. I mean, it is comfortable and it's squishy just enough where you're getting that pop. This is not a shoe where when I run, that you're sinking in and it's just like a kind of a clunker. No, this is a shoe that I can pick the pace up and I feel fast in. So when I was doing a couple different types of speed workouts, I think I did 4x800s and I did some fartlek workouts in the shoe, I felt fast. I was able to drop it into the 6, which is for me fast, and I felt really good. I was not always able to do that in other Zoom Fly shoes, to be quite frank. I wasn't able to pick it up. It felt heavy and it felt clunky. Not anymore. I felt nimble and I felt fast in the shoe. The other big thing is they dropped a lot of weight. I felt like the previous versions were very heavy. Not the case with this one. I think this one is in the 8s for my size, which honestly for a trainer is not bad. I don't need my trainer to be race day light. Sometimes I actually like it to be a little bit heavier, so when I do put on the Vaporfly or the Alpha Fly, it's like, whoa, this is a treat. This is light. I'm ready to go. But honestly, this Zoom X really worked really nicely with my foot. Overall, the upper, I had a really good lockdown. No issues at all. It is a gusseted tongue, and I'm all about that gusseted tongue. And it's, you know, nothing crazy. It has pads here, so it's more padded than your Alpha Fly or your Vaporfly, but it's not overly padded where you're like, what the heck is going on? This upper, again, no heel slippage. I locked it in and I was able to go. For this type of shoe, I'm using this for daily miles, speed work, and I'd even take this to a long run. I think the Zoom X and the comfort of the shoe, I could do 15, 16 plus miles, especially if I wanted to put any type of speed work in there. A lot of times when I'm doing marathon training, I'm doing like a 16 miles with some speed in the middle, and I think this is a great companion. I finally think Nike has a companion. I think they've been struggling a little bit with that. Like again, I said before, they knocked it out of the park with the race series, but I think they've been missing the companion. The other thing is too, is I want to point out, compared to Nike, I found this very accommodating for my foot. I have a wideish foot, and I felt like I was not squeezing in here. It was I felt very comfortable in here. The upper accommodated me, got a great lockdown in, and the Zoom X is where the magic is at. Again, I think the Zoom X6, just forget about the other versions of it and just focus on the 6, and you definitely got something nice. With the good, you do know there has to be some bad. And honestly, I feel like on the previous Zoom Flies, I've kind of dogged the shoe. There's not a ton of things that I hate about this shoe. The first one, I'm just going to be completely blunt. I don't love the looks of this shoe. In a lot of the other Zoom Fly ones, it's okay. I want a little bit more creativity. Nike, I'm just asking you, bring your trail side, bring them over to the road side. Let them just do some designs for you guys. Color palettes, I need a little bit more than this. It's a black shoe. I know Kafuzi and all them love a black shoe. Me, I'm like, meh, it's okay. So I don't really love the looks of it. The other thing is with this shoe specifically, I don't love the price. $170, I wish it was a little bit cheaper. 150, 160, even 160 I'd be okay with. Make it in that range of, your Saucony speed shoes, your Hoka speed shoes. Put it in the right category that cost, even the Asics. Put it in their one, because I think you got a player. I think you finally have a shoe that can play with the big boys over there. Really, the other kind of, minor issue I think people are going to have is, I mentioned it as a good for me. I don't think it's going to be a good for everybody. This shoe, it might be a little too accommodating for some folks. So I have a wideish foot, and it's going to be hard to kind of see, but look at that tongue. It folds in to accommodate my foot. So I just think if you have a very narrow foot, or just, I would say even like a normal foot, and you find most other Nikes to be very like, oh, this is perfect for me, this might actually be too wide for you. Because again, I have a wideish foot, and look at that tongue. Again, it might be hard to see, but I think this shoe might be too accommodating for other people, which I don't say about Nike shoes quite often. And that kind of brings me to my other thing. The tongue is nice, it's padded, it's gusseted. I don't know if they have, I think they have too much materials on it. Again, I shouldn't have folding in there. Now, it doesn't affect the ride, and I'm not getting rubbing or anything like that. But it is one of those things where I just want to point that out, that it could be an issue for some folks. And the last one I'm going to talk about is, this is a shoe that I think when marathon training comes, which a lot of people are going to be doing in the spring, summer, it's not the... It's kind of a weird. Other Nike like performance shoes I find very breathable. This one I don't. It's cold here in Pennsylvania, and my feet felt warm. So I just want to caveat that I am not running in hot weather right now. But just keep that in the back of your mind. If you're taking this down in some hot weather, I think your foot might get a little hot, to be quite frank. Again, if I'm in cold weather in Pennsylvania right now and my feet feel warm, imagine when it's 90 degrees. So again, there's not a lot that I don't like about this shoe. The tongue, I think, could be a little bit better. I think it might actually be too wide for some folks, and the heat might be an issue. But again, overall, the performance of the shoe, in my opinion, probably outweighs a lot of the negatives. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and now you want to know, should you buy this shoe? And honestly, I think it depends. Are you a Nike fanatic and you want to have a 1-2 punch with your Alphafly or Vaporfly? Buy this shoe. If you are training for a marathon and you're looking for that trainer category, yeah, I think you should buy this shoe. I think it's a really comfortable shoe. I find it accommodating. When I'm doing speed work, I like it. I feel fast in the shoe. When I'm doing daily miles, I feel comfortable in it. While it does have a plate, it's not one of those plates where you can't go slower in it, all right? It's definitely in that trainer category, and I think I gotta give props to Nike. The previous Zoom Flies are duds. I'm not even gonna hold back. They were duds. They weren't a great shoe. This is a really nice shoe, and I think Nike has heard us and said, you know what? Let's finally give them a Zoom Fly that they can actually wear and that they'll actually absolutely enjoy. The people I think you need to be cautious about is if you have narrow feet, you might want to try this shoe on, because again, if I'm getting bunching, I can only imagine the type of bunching people with narrow feet are going to get. And the other last one is, if you like a flashy shoe, I don't see any colors that are flashy. But again, for $170, which I wish it was a little bit cheaper, you're going to get a shoe you're going to have as a training partner for your marathon, for your half marathon. Honestly, even if you're not training and you just want a really nice shoe, I think Nike did a really good job with this shoe. I think the Zoomfly 6, it should just be the start, and I hope every year after this, we're just getting it better and better and better. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and you heard my verdict on this shoe. Now I want to hear from you. Have you tried the Zoomfly 6? Did you like it? Did you love it? Honestly, be honest with me. Did you hate it? Drop a comment down below. I'm curious what your all experience was with this shoe. Again, I was surprised at how much I liked this shoe. I think Nike did a fantastic job, and I think they finally have a 1-2 punch for your training needs. Thanks for watching this review. Remember, smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you all out on the run. Thanks for checking out this latest review. Don't forget, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and check out some of the other rad content that I've dropped out on the channel.